So tell me, what can I do for you?
Okay. I mean, I just asked you a question. One of many questions I have in my mind about religions in general, not only Islam. Because I consider myself, let's say, an atheist. I believe in some higher power, but it's a little bit longer topic, so let's skip it for now and let's treat me as an atheist. But I like talking about religious stuff with my friends, and lately I've got to know some Muslim guy. And he recommended me your channel. We talk a lot about religion too, so he then passed me to you, I guess. So yeah, I just like talking about stuff like that, and there are many things that leave me a bit, confused, let's say. Like, I don't understand really the need of God to punish us. Like, he killed all the people with, sending the huge flood and killing the Sodomites. Like, I don't understand why he had to kill them, not wait until they just pass away and then send them to hell. And he kind of interfered with what is going on Earth. Should he be doing that? I don't think so. He should probably wait. Like, it shows his lack of patience.
Yeah. So I would appreciate a respectful way of referring to God, whether you believe in God or not.
Okay.
That's something. But that is respectful for me as a person who does believe in God, and for people who do believe in God. I mean, we even show respect to each other as human beings, even though we're strangers. And I mean, like, if we know someone believes in God, the least we could do is to show a level of respect. I mean, also, you saying that you believe in a higher power, I mean, I don't think it's an issue for you to show a bit of respect referring to that higher power. I mean, you don't need to believe in it, but I mean, speaking respectfully is, I mean, anyone can do it. It's not like something that is very difficult to do. When it comes to what you said, I mean, we need to read everything in context, and through reading things in context, then you can understand things. So I cannot take the end of a story and then ask why the end of the story is happening the way it's happening without the whole story. I mean, imagine watching a movie or a series, going to the last 2 minutes where someone's dying and saying, "Oh, I don't understand why this person is dying." Okay, why haven't you watched the 2 hours or the, I don't know how many hours, depending on if it's a series, of the whole story taking place? Now, when you talk about, for example, the flood of Noah or whatever, people dying, as an example, you say, why? Allah gives us a story in the Quran. Allah answers your question in the Quran. Noah spent 950 years calling his people to the truth. And Allah in the Quran has given them signs. Each prophet of God comes to the people with signs. Okay? So once the people see, like today, we don't have a living prophet. But when there is a living prophet, Allah gives them signs. Allah tells us in the Quran, He sent these messengers and He gave them signs. Okay? So that messenger came and he showed the people signs of why he is a messenger of God. We talk about signs of things that humans cannot do. For example, you heard the story of Moses splitting a sea, turning a staff into a snake. All of these things that humans cannot do, to demonstrate that he is sent by that creator. So the people of Noah, 950 years being called. I don't know if people understand what 950 years are. And he's being mocked continuously. Nothing, there was no chance. So then Noah, he made the supplication to God that these people, there's no hope for them, basically. And he asked Allah to bring a good generation, basically, a generation that there is hope for, that they will accept the message, they will accept, and not to leave any of these disbelieving people. He made that supplication. He said, "La tadhar ala al-ardi." Do not leave on earth any of these generation. If you leave them, they'll just continue corruption, and there'll only be disbelieving people. All right. So these people were punished after this, right? After this period, after these signs are shown to them. Allah tells us in the Quran that when a sign is given to people, we talk about a sign now, we talk about a major sign that nobody can deny, basically. A sign that, okay, if you see, you know for a fact this is a messenger from God. Allah tells us in the Quran that once these signs are given, then there's no more warnings. That's it. You believe or you're punished. If a sign like this has been given to you. So many of these nations, many of these people have had these signs happen to them. And they still rejected, they still disbelieved, they still continued in their transgression, and they were worthy of being punished, and God punished them for that. So there's nothing there about, like, you call it interfering or not. No, they had plenty of chances, whether it is the time period that I mentioned, whether it is the evidences that were demonstrated to them without any shadow of a doubt, that leads them to like no doubt that this is from God, but they still choose to disbelieve, then they are worthy of being punished. And they don't deserve any more time, basically, because once you've had a sign that cannot be denied, then you like time for what? What do you need time for? Time is for people who are doubtful. Time is for people who are not sure. That's why they're given time. But once a sign like this is given to you, there's no more time given. I imagine I'm a messenger of God sent to you in a hypothetical situation, and you say, okay, show me that you are a messenger of God, and I just like do like this and the moon disappears or something. I tell you, okay, this is a sign from God. It's not my power. Or something similar. Of course, I'm giving you an example. And I do multiple signs to you. And you know, okay, there's no way this is just a human being if he's doing this. And it's not just you seeing it, but other people are seeing it too. Then you choose to continue disbelief. The whole nation, you continue to disbelieve. Then there's no more time that should be provided for you.
Okay, I see your point of view. Like, I disagree, to be honest, but I see your point of view. I understand where it's coming from. But okay, now we don't have any proofs, let's say, of
What do you
God
disagree
existence,
with?
like, right? Because there's no prophet.
No, I'm not saying that. But at first, I want to understand, what do you disagree with? Because, like I said, your example was voided of context. I just provided you the context from the Quran. Like Allah says in the Quran, for example, وَمَا مَنَعَنَا أَن نُرْسِلَ بِالْآيَاتِ إِلَّا أَن كَذَّبَ بِهَا الْأَوَّلُونَ. That Allah is saying to a response to some people who are asking for signs that they're not getting any more of these major signs because earlier people disbelieved in them. And then Allah mentions an example, وَأَتَيْنَا ثَمُودَ النَّاقَةَ مُبْصِرَةً, that the people of Thamud, which was the nation, Allah's given them this animal, which is a sign, which is was a huge animal, whatever, etc. Some sign that came out of a mountain, etc. Like that, something that they knew was from God. They disbelieved in it. And then Allah says, وَمَا نُرْسِلُ بِالْآيَاتِ إِلَّا تَخْوِيفًا. These signs that we're sending, major signs, they're only warnings. So they were warnings to the people. Okay, you believe or be punished. That was what the messenger said to them, basically. So here's ultimate proof, ultimate evidence. Believe or be punished. Then people choose to be punished. So, I mean, like, what can you blame God for anymore? Now, what you were saying about, but first I want to understand, what do you disagree with? Which part do you disagree with and why I said? Because you just said that you disagree.
Okay, it's hard to say, say that in English for me because obviously it's not my first language, so I need to gather my thoughts somehow. The idea of God killing people just because they don't act the way he would like them to just doesn't sit right with me because he gave us free will and then he kills us for using it. Shouldn't we will die eventually, everyone will die eventually. So why should he kill them before they just die naturally and then send them to hell? Like I've never understood that idea. It happens in probably every religion. I was raised as Christian, so I know all those stories too because they are in Bible as well. And it just always confused me so much.
I mean, I think you answered your own question. The minute you say everyone will die, yes, if everyone will die, then why does it matter if God takes the life in this way or that way? You said die naturally. This is an atheistic term. What do you mean by naturally? There's no such thing as nature. Nature doesn't have an effect on people. Nature is a creation of God. That is a set of laws that God has placed. Life is only taken and given by God. If God gives you life and decides to take it after giving you every chance out there to take, then why is there a problem? God can take your life whenever he wants. He gave it to you to begin with. So when you talk about he gave us free will, take it away, he didn't take it away. He is giving you the choice in this life and the test. And once you, after every chance that has been given to you, deny, then yes, you deserve to be punished. I mean, assuming that person lived for 10 more years, that doesn't change anything. What does that change? If that person lives 20 more years, what does that change? If the person, once they fully had the evidence presented to them, still reject, then what does 20 years change? Or are you worried yourself about yourself when you die or something? Like, because that makes
I'm
no
not
sense.
worried about myself.
Yeah,
No.
so the people who have their longer time or whatever are those people who haven't been presented with proofs, like ultimate proofs and evidences, like these ones that you can observe with your own eyes of these messengers doing. You haven't had this proof given to you. Yes, God has given you time, He's allowing you to stay. He's allowing you now. You're speaking to me. You used some disrespectful terms at the beginning of the discussion. God didn't take your soul. He's not like, you know what? Okay, so it's time for you to die. Because you said something bad. No,
Okay, out of
and it's
curiosity,
not only you actually. Yeah, it's not only
I'm
you.
just
There are
curious.
people who cursing God day and night. There are people who go burn religious scriptures, insult God and messengers of God. And God allows them to live because this life is a test. They haven't had this opportunity, like I said, of this proof which is undeniable. So they are still in the period of their test. If God wanted us to be believers, He would make us believers. But those who still reject after every chance has been given to them, they don't deserve any more time. For what?
Okay, so you're saying if people are proven by God that He is real and they still refuse to believe or follow His the rules he set for us, then it's okay to kill those humans, right? But
And even the term kill,
this
I don't really kill. I would say kill is a term that is used by humans use with each other. We just say God takes your life. He's given you something. He's taking it back. That's
okay.
it. Imagine I gave you a bottle. I took it back. It's my position in the end. It's my thing. We say something in Islam. We say inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. We belong to Allah, and to Allah we shall return. Because we, as whole creation, is been made by God. God created us. We belong to God in the end. The soul that we have has been given to us by God. So this term "kill" is just like, which in a way can be dramatic in a way. It doesn't apply to God in that way. Like God, when we do it with each other, we do it for emotional reasons, for enmity, for hatred, for all of these stuff. God doesn't need any of that because, like I said, He's the one who gave it to you. He can take it anytime, and if He wanted to punish you from the start, if He was like some atheists are trying to portray Him, He wouldn't even allow humans to exist. Like He just puts you in hellfire. Okay, you got to do bad. Okay, go to hellfire because he knows. So He still gives you the chance. He still gives you the opportunity. And like I said, once all the evidence is established to you, if you then still choose to disbelieve, then yeah, you deserve to be punished. You deserve that blessing that God has given to you. It's His right to take it away when He wants.
Okay. Well, I understand you completely, but it still just doesn't sit right with me. I have really a lot of respect for humans' life, and
Which is
just
given by
taking
who?
it away because
Who's
what?
given that
Sorry?
human life? Who's given that human life?
I mean, you believe that God did. I don't because I don't believe
No, it's
in the
no. It's
existence
not
of
what I
God.
believe. No. But you're complaining about God. So it's either you say God exists or doesn't. How can you blame God if God doesn't exist? You see, this is. I'm sorry, but this is the game that atheists play. You want to blame God, but at the same time you tell us God doesn't exist. So if you want to blame God, God has to be in the picture. You have to argue with God in the picture. So if you want to blame God that exists, then you have to also accept that narrative that God is the one who gave that life because you're blaming Him. Or He doesn't exist, then how are you blaming Him for anything? This is like, honestly, this is the problem with, look, you gotta be, this shows inconsistency on your end. It seems you have other emotional reasons, or could be whatever other reasons, the issues that you may have with God, but those don't change these realities I gave you. In the worldview where God exists, in every faith, He's the one who's given them the life. So when you say human life is valued, who gave the human life to begin with, anyways?
Okay, so for this discussion, let's assume for me it's an assumption because I'm an atheist, so I don't believe God gave me the life. But let's assume that I do believe
Okay,
that God
okay.
gave the
So
life, but
God didn't
I
give
don't
you the life.
understand.
Sure. So
Yeah,
who gave you the life?
I believe in evolution, but I don't think we're getting in that discussion since you wanted to
Evolution
end the
doesn't
life
answer that
because
question.
it would probably.
No, evolution doesn't answer that question. Evolution is just about the physicality of things. It doesn't believe it doesn't answer the metaphysical question of the consciousness.
Okay, so
Evolution,
if you want
evolution.
that, yeah.
No. I'm making a point. Evolution
Mm,
is about the physicality of life. If you want to look at the physical process, if you want to accept the theory of evolution, it's about the physicality of life. The genes, the atoms, the cells, all of these things. It doesn't talk about something called the consciousness. There's something in science called the hard problem of consciousness. Why does it exist? Why do they call it the hard problem of consciousness? because consciousness is not a physical thing. Therefore, science using its physical tools cannot figure it out. So when we say someone is dead, their whole physical body is still there. The whole physical body is still there, but something is missing. And we know that which is missing is what we refer to as consciousness, is what we refer to as the soul. You have some atheists using, oh, he died naturally. Naturally, obviously, which is just a cop-out, which is not an answer to anything. That person, the minute they die, the physical body is there. Your parents didn't give you life. If they gave you life, they wouldn't cry when you die. They will give you life again. So life as a human being is composed of two things: a metaphysical aspect, which is your soul consciousness, and your physical being. So evolution doesn't help you there. Plus, even in evolution, you can't even tell me an evolution. Okay, tell me, as you a believer of evolution, where did that cell come from? The first cell.
Where did what come from?
Where did the first? Do you know about abiogenesis? Do you know what abiogenesis is?
I don't think I know this word in English. Maybe in my national language, yeah, but
okay, let me explain to you. I know, with all due respect, that I know many atheists have no clue about how evolution actually functions. But abiogenesis it's a reference to the beginning of biological life. Okay, the beginning of biological life. How did the first cell, the first transition from chemistry to biology, the first existence of a cell, where did it come from, and how did that happen?
I don't know. I've never dug that deep, but this
it's not
discussion
only
like
you don't
took
know,
the
but
wrong turn.
no, it didn't take the wrong turn. We're still on the same point. And it's not only that you don't know, but all atheists also don't know. Go to your scientists; they'll tell you the same thing. We have no clue, and they can't answer that. Like I said, I mentioned this many times. Even many scientists will go to a ridiculous conclusion. They will tell you there is transhermia and there is the alien that came and put the first cell, and they would rather believe that over believing in a creator. Well, it's the same thing, really. It's the same thing, but just a cop out of an atheist that doesn't want to admit to the existence of a creator. So since you don't know, then you shouldn't be making assumptions like God gave life or didn't give life, because you have no clue where it came from. Not only you, sorry, but like I said, all atheists have no clue where life came from. And why am I saying no, we didn't go to any direction? Because I know atheists like to mention evolution, but the minute I press them on it, they don't want to talk about it. But the thing is this: why am I still on this topic? Because it's the same topic that we were talking about life. You were talking about life being precious. That was your assumption. And then you said, God, I told you that God is the one who gave this life to begin with. So it's a false argument to try and blame God for something he gave you, that he took back something he gave you. Then you said, oh, I don't believe in that. I believe in evolution. So then we went to that discussion because you went there. But I'm going to ask a different question. Now let's assume, for the sake of argumentation, let's assume life came from a different source. Why is human life valuable, according to you as an atheist? Why is it valuable?
Well, I wanted to say that this discussion took a wrong turn because we didn't understand each other. And when you want to ask me, where did life come from, but when we talk about all that metaphysical stuff, like the soul and things like that, then I believe, I hope, at least I really hope this idea is real, because I really like this, the reincarnation, that we just reincarnate into other people. Um, and I think everything should be based on respect to one another, love to one another. And yeah, that's why I put so much value to human life. And even the worst sinners, I don't think we should just kill them.
Okay, so you said reincarnation. What's your proof that there is anything like reincarnation? Why do you believe that?
What if we want to talk about the proofs, then we can talk about all those stories from those kids who remember their past lives, remember some very specific
Proof.
details, and for example,
That's not,
they could find a body of someone who was killed in some other place in their
that's not
previous
proof.
life. There are some stories like that, but
You realize that's
honestly,
not
I
proof,
did.
right? Because I can easily bury a dead body and I can teach a kid a story to say, and then he can do it. That's not proof of anything. It's just some kid found the body. How does that mean? Therefore, there is reincarnation. How did you come to that conclusion? That's not proof. That's not proof by any logical standard.
Yeah, if you tell a kid who lives, let's say, is your neighbor, then yeah, but what about those kids who know some very specific details about someone who lived dozens of years
Is it
earlier
possible that they were
or
told these
thousands of
details?
kilometers away. What?
Is
Sorry?
it possible that someone who knew that person told him those details? Is that possible?
I don't know, quite unlikely.
No, I didn't ask the question. First, you don't know if it's quite unlikely because you don't know those kids yourself. But I'm saying, is it possible? Do you know? Do you know what it takes? It takes one phone call. You know, it takes one airplane visit or one phone call. Hello, or not even phone call. It's like it takes a text on the phone. Here you go. Look, these are the details you need to say. That's it. So, this, when you talk about proof, this is the furthest thing away from any proof. This is when I talk about this. This is a problem again, and I'm going to say atheist again. This is the issue when atheists, like, they're very critical of religious things, but they would accept the most, and I'm not saying this disrespectfully, but the most ridiculous assumptions without proof. Like, I give an example of something ridiculous when I talked about the transpermia and an alien bringing the cell or whatever. It's an example. Because atheists, when it comes to what they believe in, there's no standards of proof and, rationality and consistency. But when it comes to religion, no, this detail, this, that, that. Okay, no, this doesn't make sense. Explain that to me. Explain this to me. Somehow they think they can stand on a higher moral ground. But I asked you again, regardless of this, which idea of reincarnation, which has no proof. Not only it has no proof, but it's irrational as well. Because if souls are just in a cycle of reincarnation, when we go back, we were less human beings, not more. So there are more souls being generated. So it's not reincarnation. So there are souls being generated by something, because there are more human beings coming on Earth. The numbers are increasing. And when we go back, there was less people. So if we have a cycle of reincarnation, that cycle makes no sense now that we have extra people that are coming in the picture, because those people were not reincarnated. If reincarnation was based, I'm showing you now the illogic, not only that you have no proof, but how illogical this idea is. What are we reincarnated based on? They will tell you, based on what you did in your previous life. Okay, so where do I get this description of what is good and bad, so I can avoid the bad and do the good, so I can make sure that I am reincarnated in a better state? If I'm reincarnated as a fly or a frog or whatever, like those people say, what can I do as a frog or a fly to come back ever as a human being again? I
No,
can't do anything.
I don't believe we reincarnate in animals and or insects.
That's
There's
the idea
actually
of
this one
reincarnation
book
generally. So what? So humans only
what? Sorry?
reincarnate. You still have the same issue, even if you still believe that only humans are reincarnated. You still have the same issue. The same issue which I mentioned of if it was souls recycled, whatever, then it would be always the same number of human beings just being recycled. Different human beings. They're not going to increase. They're not going to be 100,000 and then become 100 million. Like, it's not going to happen unless something is generating souls or whatever. Something is generating more people into existence. Also, it doesn't answer the question to begin with of where did these souls come from that are being reincarnated. It needs a starting point again. So it's just, when you present these things, you just bring yourself more problems than solutions. Really, you're not helping yourself. Also, you told me you value human life because of love and respect. These are subjective terms. I mean, why do I need to value human life, or does anyone? You said I don't believe that people who do bad need to be killed or whatever. You don't believe anyone should be capitally punished. Not human. No one, right? Let me just get a clarification on your position there. You believe nobody should be killed under any circumstance. Is that what you're saying?
Mm, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
Okay,
honestly,
okay,
it's
sure. So if someone is
hard.
coming, entering your house and slaughtering like
You're being
everyone there in your
very
family,
interruptive. It's hard for me to make a full sentence because you interrupt really a lot, and it's
sure, go
hard
ahead.
to
Go
even
ahead.
say anything, to be
I'll
honest.
let you speak. Of course, sure. No worries. I'll let you speak. Go ahead. What do you want to say?
Right, because we skipped like many topics. Okay, so coming back to those souls, just you said those numbers don't make sense because there are more and more people. Well, I read this book, and for when I started reading it, I did it just for entertainment. And then the whole idea of reincarnation brought me so much comfort, I decided that it might be true, and I just chose to believe in it. So the idea of it is there are some, let's say, new souls that are generated, and some who just stop reincarnating because they've learned all of their lessons, they reach their goals, and they just stop coming back here. So when it comes to the numbers, that's how it makes sense. Okay, what were you saying about this? You asked me if I believe no one should be killed. Where were you going with that?
Yeah. So first, what you said about the book doesn't answer the point I was making. To just claim that okay, people choose where to go or where not to go. Then where did they originate from? Still, you haven't answered that question, which I was saying. You're saying souls are being generated, but you haven't told us how are they being generated? What is generating them? Where they're coming from? Now, when it comes to the death part, you said I asked you a question to get an answer, and then I was following up. But then somehow you said I was interrupting. I was asking you for clarification. Do you believe that you are not basically you cannot kill human beings under any circumstance? And then you said yes. So then I was giving you a follow-up. Then I said, okay, if that is your belief, which you've asserted, then if someone is coming to slaughter your whole family and like everyone in your entire building, we shouldn't stop them. I mean, this guy has weapons and he's gonna shoot people back, and the only way to stop them is what they would refer to as deadly force.
Okay,
in
you're
law
talking
enforcement.
self-defense. It's something different. It's to kill or to be
I
killed.
asked you,
It's
I was very clear. I was very clear saying under any circumstance, and you said yes. You believe nobody should be killed under any circumstance. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I say. Okay, because I didn't think about self-defense. I was thinking about some revenge stuff like that. In
So you're
self-defense,
allowed
yeah,
to
sure.
take human life. So you're allowed to take human life just depending on the context.
Yeah, if you
That's
put
what you
it
just
that
said.
way, yeah, we can say that, yeah, that's true.
Okay. So why is it so bad when God takes human life in his own just context and wisdom? But within your human context, it's okay. But when God does it, it's not okay. Because you value human life so much.
Because,
You said.
yeah, but when you're in a situation when it's literally kill or be killed, then you are gonna save your life or the life of your loved ones. But when you're a god and no one's putting you in danger because it's literally impossible, then
Are you putting other people in
why
danger?
what?
When you are a disobedient person, are you putting other people in danger? When you are a
Yeah, you
disbeliever
might
in God,
be if
a corrupter in the land, a killer of prophets like they were doing, are you
Mhm.
doing danger to other people? You mentioned Sodom and Gomorrah, for example, or whatever. If you were reading that story, you would have read with your own eyes when God sent angels, and then they saw them. They threatened to kill Lot if he doesn't allow them to do indecency with those people. So okay, so if those people are threatening to kill other people, then why cannot God take the life of those people who want to threaten and kill other people? Why?
Okay, but what I don't understand about stories like that is why was it okay for God to interfere then, but it's not okay now in Palestine? Like, why can't he
You
just
haven't answered my
do
question. You
something
haven't answered my
about?
question. You can answer my question and then I'll answer your question. My question
Yeah,
was,
okay.
why the double standard? Why is it okay when a human does it, but it's not okay when God does it under the same context, which is preventing people from taking the life of other people or causing injustice in the land or corruption or whatever? Why is that not good?
Okay, but look, if I do it because I have very personal reason for it because I'm in danger or someone I love is in danger, something like that. When God does it, why did he chose to protect some
When
people and not the others? Like obviously those weren't the only people that were in danger. So why only
okay,
those were saved?
okay, so if you are in danger, not me,
Yeah.
and someone is trying to do that to you, I'm a police officer, I shouldn't stop them because it's not me.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
So, oh
Um,
no, I'm asking. So, as a police officer,
yeah,
I'm allowed to stop the person who's causing you harm.
yeah, of course.
So it's not about happening to me anymore. So it's not about happening to God or not. If God is taking the life of someone who's causing harm to others under the same logic that you use with the police officer now, why is that okay for the police officer but not okay for God?
Okay, because look, when you're a police officer and you save one person and another day maybe you save another person, those are situations you are involved in. You see it with your own eyes, you have a power to react. Like, okay, but you will do it for everyone who is in danger. You won't just pick someone over another. But when God does it, he chose to save some other people and he left alone the other ones. Like, why does he chooses it. I don't know how to even explain that, because it looks like, I don't know, maybe he's choosing the people who
Well,
are
I'm sorry.
worth
With
saying.
all due respect,
I don't
you don't know
understand.
how. I'm sorry. With all due respect, you don't know how to explain it because you are just dancing around the topic. You know that what you're saying makes no sense. You know, he's involved in. Of course, God is involved in the affairs of human beings, just like the
Yeah.
police officer is involved in the affairs of people. You're saying, oh, he does it here, but he doesn't do it there. It doesn't change the fact that when he does it, it's completely fine. But you are not admitting to that because you know that refutes your argument. And you have, with all due respect, I'm saying this with all due respect, you are arrogant not to accept that your position is false. To admit, okay, this is a false argument, and I'm going to continue to argue just for the sake of argument, even though each time I bring something is just like shooting myself in the foot. But I'm just going to stay on my position and not admit that I'm wrong, trying to claim that just because God took lives that He gave to the people to begin with, for people who are unjust and wrongdoing, after showing them proof and evidences of His existence and warning them multiple times that that somehow is wrong. But if a police officer protects someone, oh, that's okay. So on that note, I do have to end the stream. And perhaps, maybe, who knows, in the future, we will have more rational conversation that time. All right, Patricia, I'm going to let you go right now. Hopefully, you'll actually rethink your positions and situations and actually come to logical, rational situations, not emotional. Like, I read this book and it gave me comfort, therefore, what the book says is true. That's not how rationality works. You know, things work with evidence, not how it makes you feel. There's many people who read many things and engage in many things, and it gives them comfort. That doesn't therefore mean what they believe is therefore true. All right, Patricia, it was nice talking to you. Bye bye.